Hi, welcome everybody. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for your patience, waiting a couple of minutes for this webinar to start and for joining us today. My name is Brian D'Aquino. I am very pleased to welcome you to today's session of Sound System Outernational 7, the launch session, which is called, the event is called Sound System at the Crossroads, and this launch event is called the Sonic Challenge, post-pandemic sound system practices. So I will briefly introduce myself and the organizations that take part in this in the organization of this amazing, hopefully amazing event. My name is Brian. I'm the operator of the Italian sound system Bababoom Hi-Fi, and I'm also very lucky to be part of both the association that have put together this event. Sound System Outernational, you may already have heard of that, is an ongoing initiative of practitioners and researchers based at Goldsmiths, University of London, dedicated to recognizing, stimulating, and supporting sound system culture worldwide. For this event, we have teamed up with our partner organization, which is called Sonic Street Technologies, or SST, which is an ERC-funded research project launched in 2021, examining the culture, the diaspora, and the knowledge of subaltern and global South uses of sound technologies. About this event, Sound System at the Crossroads, as our usual style and fashion, we're gonna feature talks, lectures, workshops, and also some exclusive sound system performances from sounds across the world, and also a number of feature film and screenings. So for the full program, you can check our website, our social media, and you can register for each event on our Eventbrite. So let's go to today's topic. The title for today is The Sonic Challenge, Post-Pandemic Sound System Practices, and the idea behind it, it was to involve the same sound systems that we will feature the next week with their sessions and their music and their vibe, and to sit them around the table just to try to deliver a proper reasoning collectively, all together, about what this last year has brought on the table of the sound system world, besides the usual, kind of bad feeling and kind of depression that we have already experienced, but to see, to check out for ways to basically overcome the bad feelings and start to build something new. I'm gonna briefly introduce with great pleasure the sounds that are featured on this panel and that will play for you the next week. So I'm gonna introduce Feminine Hi-Fi, established in 2016. We have Dani and we have Laila. Hi is a female sound hailing from Sao Paulo, Brazil, which aims to create a platform focused on promoting reggae and an appreciation on the role and presence of women in music. Kebra Ethiopia sound, hailing from South Africa, has been playing reggae roots music at township community parks for over 10 years. It was established in Kwatema, one of the townships located in the southwest of the east rand of Gauteng, South Africa. It uses reggae music as a tool, as a movement that concerns with community upliftment, socioeconomic issues, ghetto living, and Pan-African teachings. El Gran Latido sound, we have Ricardo here, was born in November 2017 under guidance from Channel 1 Sound System. It is a roots and culture sound focused on promoting the culture in Colombia and South America. They have been active in this short period more than 100 times with the sound, amplifying the message of different communities in Colombia. Latest but not last, Conscious Way Outernational is Unity in Diversity. Selectress Abidjan and sound operator T-Cure, which will join us together, will join us later, hopefully, are at the heart of this roots and dub culture sound system, hailing from Guadeloupe Island in the French Caribbean. Talented Caribbean artists like Jaibre, Sister Jaya, Natty Well, Ras Benny are regularly featured on the Hi-Powa sessions. So this is the amazing table that we have for today, and we are extremely lucky and proud, let me tell you that. And I just want to remind our audience that they can ask questions by using the Q&A box at the bottom of their screen. They can type in questions at every time during the session, and our team will pick up as many questions as possible, and I will ask them to the panelists. So just type in questions whenever you feel like. So I would say greetings to one and all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for connecting. And so we can start our conversation. So the first thing, I will put a few questions just to the whole table so you can all answer like in turns. And the nice thing is this way, I guess we can get like different views from the different corners of the world from where you guys are all based. And that will give us like a diverse and, you know, like properly outernational picture of what is going on in the sound system world. So as a first question, I would just ask you to introduce yourself, giving a brief overview of your sound system history, such as where it was established and the ethos, the ambitions and the aims and the highlights of your journey so far. So over to Feminine, please.
Yes, Laila, você quer?
Let me open my microphone. Você quer falar, amiga? Ou tá,
Posso falar? Hi to all. Thank you for inviting us to Sound System Outernational. It's an honor. It's a very, very joy for us. It's a great pleasure. And me, Laila, and Andrea, we are Feminine Hi-Fi from Brazil, São Paulo. And we are born in 2016. And we are a platform focused on being a facilitation platform to support women in our local sound system culture. We don't properly have a sound system, but we act inside in this culture here in Brazil. Our individual experience were our founding and being part of a sound system culture or doing the commentary press around it. And then we brought our particular experiences and observations, realizing what type of holes women have to face. We also are a crew as the mostly playing Jamaican music, spreading our researches on worldwide reggae and Brazilian reggae, our heritage reggae here. On the official crew, we are in two selectors, me and Andrea Lovestead, and one singer, Laila Ruda.
Yes, I would love to complete my partner, Dani Pimenta, telling about our highlights, because I think in this first question, it's nice to remember to bring to this round table some important moments for us. Our project working in a way to make more strong and more powerful the presence of women inside their sound system reggae scene, because as we always see in our lives, like in our even in our individual ways inside the reggae culture, we couldn't see as much as we love to see other women's. When we start the Feminine Hi-Fi, we were like exactly talking about we are not that much. We are only feel like 10 women around many guys. So we start Feminine Hi-Fi, and it's very amazing to us. We can promote what we did, like we promote Janine, a very, very huge singer from Jamaica. When she came to Brazil, she came because we realized it, we promote it, we put a band, was my band in that case, to play with her. Also, we always did street parties, street sessions. Here in Brazil, we have a lot of favelas, a lot of ghettos. Brazil is a continental country. So we always played inside the ghettos, always with a sound system partner. So we did many partnerships with other sounds, like for the amplification, but always playing us and other, maybe each session like 10 or 20 women's. And we could do a tour to Europe. Many of guys like Brian and other guys, we could meet like in their countries, and was amazing for us. We can play, and we will be, and we could be recognized about our job. Like, was very interesting for us how people look at us and say, wow, your project is like very different, like the first one in this way. So I don't know if it's nice, and if we could, like, we have some highlights inside the highlights, and the highlights is in this first question. We would love to share our screen. I think Dani have this little video.
Sorry, Laila, you're muted. We don't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said we have a video, is a compilation of some of these highlights we want to share with you guys in the beginning of this conversation. It's about our beginning and about the highlights, like as the question proposed. So Dani can share this video for you guys. Dani, você pode passar o vídeo, por favor?
Eu compartilhei. I shared. Can you view? No?
Não, se você puder dar o play.
Yes,
I'm telling to Dani to play it. It's working?
Amiga, eu dei o play. Eu dei o play. It's working? Não?
Não, o que está mostrando é a sua tela cheia de arquivos no Drive.
Ué, que estranho. Peraí.
Então, vou botar para frente, depois a gente põe. Tá bom? Guys, it's not working, so okay, we can share this video later, okay?
Yes.
It's no problem. It's a highlight, and we just want to show you some images.
Thank you very much for this introduction. I will leave
Go ahead.
I will hand it to Kebra to hear from him and from South Africa. Thank you.
Yes, greetings and love to all brothers and sisters who are joined in. Well, my name is Lekentle Mhlala. I'm the founder of Kebra, Ethiopia. And we started in 2005, the Kebra Ethiopia thing. From when we start, we were not necessarily a sound system. We started off as being, individuals who like reggae music and started to organize some sessions as like charity sessions. So what we would do is that we would rent a PA sound system, then play in the parks and ask those who would be attending to donate some kind of perishable food in exchange of a dance. So the whole thing gained momentum, and we started to, to take it to another level by appointing ourselves as being a sound system. And there's a brother who his name was Rasta. When he came to our sessions, he said, what I see here, it's nice. So I'm gonna name the whole thing you're doing and your sound. Even though it didn't have a sound, we shall name it Kebra Ethiopia, meaning it's glory to Africa in a way. So that's how the names started about. So as the years continue, we started to now get more involved into the sound system settings. And from there off, we built our first sound in 2010, just 2 scoops and 2 tops. Then from there, it gained momentum. We started having the preamp, the whole sound system thing. But from our side, what we pushed more was not necessarily the big sound, heavy sound, and that was to bring the whole community as one, and just share the music and inspire more youths to be on the right path. So I could say that in a way it all happened in such a mystical way that, from running a charity organization to being a sound system, and right now to being exposed to the world. So, that's briefly our story of Kebra, Ethiopia. But what I didn't mention is that we were inspired by the Rasta community here. I don't know if many people know this, but South Africa has the biggest community of Rasta people, in the whole world. Here in South Africa, we have lots of, Rasta people. So when we grew up, we would attend these sessions they host in the ghettos. So from there, we're inspired, So we didn't see the thing from Europe and started to build sounds here. We're inspired here in South Africa. I was only exposed to the European scene only in 2012. That's when I first saw that, there were sounds in Europe. There's a sound called Chashaka. But all along, we're doing this, being inspired by the movement that was already happening here at home. Yeah. So that's briefly my introduction.
Thank you, Cabra, for this very inspiring introduction. I will hand it over to Ricardo from Bogota, from El Gran Latido. Hi, Ricardo. Thanks for being here.
Hey, hi to all. Greetings to all sisters in Brazil and in Guadeloupe, brother in South Africa, Brian, I suppose you're in Italy. And hello to all communities, South System Outernational. I'm Ricardo, also known as Richie Bones from El Gran Latido. Gran Latido, it's a project that I didn't really expect. I started promoting a sound system culture and roots and culture like 15 years ago, more or less. And at one point, we invited Channel One to come here, and things started to happen. They started coming every year. Things that the culture and the events became very, very beautiful and great. And one day they motivated me. They told me, okay, this is very good scene and stuff, but you should build a sound. It was really unexpected, but I think we needed one kind of these sound systems in this city because of the situation we're passing through, we're living. And in November of 2017, Gran Latido was born with a session together with Channel One. For us, also their guidance and Rasta people guidance, it's very important. And since then, we created this sound system, thinking on promoting sound system culture in this part of the world, in going back to that roots of being like the voice of the neighborhoods, the radio of the neighborhoods, to give voice and amplify a lot of messages that here in Colombia they are not being listened to, or they're not spaces for a lot of things to to get the visualization. And it was a very organic path, and we started working with kids in the neighborhoods, and now there's a very heavy situation in Colombia. We've been in national strike for more than 2 months, and a whole year of pandemics and really strong situation. And the sound system has become a very important tool to help these mobilizations, these yes, all these social things that are happening in Colombia, and so El Gran Latido, it's a mixture between roots and culture and very activist sound system culture in the streets. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you, Ricardo, and I let it over to Abby from Guadeloupe, Conscious Way Outernational. Hi, Abby.
Hi everyone. Thanks also for the invitation. Large up to all the sound system involved, all the organizer. Yes, and I am Abby Jean, and yes, indeed, I am part of a newborn sound system called Conscious Way Outernational Hi-Powa. And in this sound system, I am the selectress. And there is another one, also part of the sound system, who is Tikur, highly blessed. He is the operator, the sound engineer, and then both of us, we create this sound system. And as I said, is a newborn sound system when you think about the other sound system today with us, like Feminine Hi-Fi, Kebra, Ethiopia, and Gran Latido. We are quite new. And to be honest, I cannot talk about Conscious Way Outernational Hi-Powa as sound system if I don't talk before about the non-profit organization, because everything starts with the non-profit organization, Conscious Way Outernational. And we create this non-profit organization with Tikur in 2015. And the goal was, of course, to promote roots reggae music, dub music in the island, Guadeloupe, which is a French Caribbean island, and also to promote sound system culture. To be honest, I used to live during several years in Europe, in France, in US. And when I came back in Guadeloupe, my little island, I realized, gosh, I was missing something, because I used to travel to go in several dance, whatever it is, in US, in UK, in France. And I realized, wow, there is not such vibes actually in Guadeloupe. Of course, there is reggae music. There is a lot of DJ, a lot of selector, but I couldn't find these vibes that I experienced in Europe, US. Then I said to myself, okay, when you cannot find what you want, why not to create it? Then we start like that with Conscious Way Outernational. It was really to promote roots reggae dub music and sound system culture. And of course, we realized with Tikur that even if we never talk about it, but the goal finally was also to have our own sound system. Then we start this project in 2019, and we start to think about to build a sound system. And actually we start slowly, because our sound system was built in different parts of the world. Then in UK, part in France, part in Guadeloupe. And we gather all of that to create today's sound systems. And it was really something really challenging, because as an island, you can imagine sometimes we are a little, we could feel a little apart of the rest of the world. Then it was really challenging for us. Then we created the sound system, to be honest, last years. And it was really something really amazing for us, because it was really to bring again in this island something that doesn't exist, or vibes that still have to be built. Then this is how we create the sound system. And I can say that our highlights was really the first time when we brought it out. It was for the New Year's Eve in 2019. It was the first time that we put outside the sound, and it was something really amazing, because it's something really interesting and emotional to see that you are working 2 years, 3 years, building something that finally you can see it working, hear it, feel it. Then it was something really, really interesting and really amazing for us. And before the sound system, still we start to promote roots reggae dub music in the island. And we create the Guadeloupe Dub Club. And we have the chance to bring some artists from UK and US for the Guadeloupe Dub Club, like Jonathan, also Raskuch from Black Redemption from US. And the last edition of Guadeloupe Dub Club, it was with Kitty Woods. Then slowly and slowly, we trying to build these vibes and trying to use our sound system like really something that bring people together. And I will have time to come back on that, bringing people together, but it's something really important for us, especially in the environment of our island. But I will have, I hope, the opportunity to come better on that. This is a little our story.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Tikur. So I will put a next question on the table. So, I mean, I would ask you basically, let's think about it's 1st January 2020. So, what plans you had for the few next months, and when did you first hear about this pandemic, really, and how did it impact your plans? So, I would kindly ask you to be a bit like to keep it brief. Otherwise, we have a lot of questions and a lot to say. Otherwise, we cannot make it in the 2 hours, really. So I will put it again to feminine, and we make another round. Thank you.
Okay, I'm muted. So in January 1st, we were making plans for 2020. But then, boom, we were surprised to the COVID-19 and the pandemic. So we plan to start our year exactly planning how could be our entire year, but nothing happens. And to 2019 for us was a year that we had a monthly party. It was very nice here, a lot of people, a lot of crowd. So we're an amazing year. And then we were doing some sessions on the streets too, playing on some festivals. Everything we're doing good. But then in 2020, everything stopped, and we lost our ways, our thinkings, especially here in Brazil, that is very, very pandemic yet. It's not post-pandemic, not even close to that. So that's what happened to us.
Thank you. And over to Kebra. Oh, Cabra, you muted. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Yes. So, yeah, on the 1st of January 2020, well, I had a tour to do in Europe. It was between February and March. So that was the plan, nothing much. So I was preparing to go on a tour to Europe, and I had 6 sessions booked already. So in February, I traveled actually to Europe to play. I played in France 2 sessions. Then I had a session in Portugal. But then on the 3rd week of my tour, I had to cancel the tour because already there was a pandemic. The whole world declared a pandemic by the WHO. So that was tragic. I had to come back home. But then I was stuck in Europe for a few days because in Spain, they had already closed their airspace. So I had to travel via Germany. So it was, a tragic moment for me because I lost money between the tour. And when I came here at home too, I arrived during a lockdown. So the whole situation was very hard economically, and it's mentally too, because it's something you didn't expect to happen. So it was very hard for us. I could say that, yeah.
I see that. Please, Ricardo, have a go.
Okay, well, for us, it was a very big surprise, and of course, a very big strike to what's going on. We came from 2019, a very amazing year. That year, if I don't remember, but I went to Europe. I played with Doc together in Sicily, in Manuel Dob. Remember, it was amazing. I was that summer in Europe. I went also that year to Argentina to a sound system meeting with the family over there from Argentina. It was like the anniversary number 40 of Channel 1. They came here also. It was a wonderful year. We closed it with a very big national strike session also. It was a very important date for our country, the November 21 of 2019. And then everything, we were really like happy of how things were coming in. I'm going to try to show you, share a flyer of what was going to happen. I don't know if you can see it already. Okay, it was, we have a lot of adventures in 2019. So we were ready to go in 2020, like full organized, we invested all our money in tickets to have everything organized. Ashanti Sila, Junior Roy, Brian was coming, Steve Vibronics, Indica Dobbs, and Mark Iration. They were coming and everything fell apart. In this way, it was like a really hard thing, but it started to give us our way. This thing show us our path, because we were working a lot in social things, in activism, and the only way to take out the sound system during pandemic was like finding new ways. So I will let this for next. But yeah, it was terrible. Like everything, you had a plan for all the year, and then everything fell apart. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ricardo. Yeah, that flyer brought tears to my eyes, kind of. And also, as a sound system Outernational, we had an event scheduled for Brazil for last year, which couldn't take place, and it went online, as some of you may have attended. And then I would hand it over to Conscious Way Outernational, because I guess your story is slightly different, because basically, in a sense, you were born out during the pandemic. So you can give us like a different view on that.
Yes, yes, indeed. It's true that in 2020, we had plenty project, because we put out our sound in 2019 for the first time. Then we had a lot of things planned for 2020. Then nothing happened, except we succeeded at least to organize one Guadeloupe dub club with Kitty Roots, but the sound was not fully, that was last year's. In 2020, what we succeed to do is trying to put some little session, private session, and we took this time to work on the sound mostly, but it's true that we had planned to do several sessions that we couldn't put, but at the same time that forced us to also, during this pandemic, to think about how to keep the vibes, while now we are not able to have big session. And I will have opportunity to talk about that later, but this is how we decide to create what we call our backyard session. The idea was to come back to the original blue dances that you could find in UK. Then, yes, it was something really special for us because a newborn sound that finds itself in a situation where you cannot go out. Then it was something really...
I spent
really
all my
particular.
lockdown basically building the sound and the racks.
Secure. Go ahead.
Hello. Yes, greetings everyone again. Yes, just to add something, basically, well, 1st of January, we were coming back from a session from great Italian sound called Bababoo. They, of course, give us another push, you know, towards our project. And of course, we were already, as Abby said, we were already in the process of building the sound. And in that very moment, I was already here in the Caribbean, in Guadeloupe. But can you hear me? Yeah?
Yes, we can. Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry. I was already in Guadeloupe. My plan was to go back to UK in May because I had some tour work planned. And I find myself that I'm still here. But we took, yes, as Abby was saying, the opportunity in that moment to really fully dedicate to this project. I spent the lockdown restoring part of the sound of what it became after the sound. So some speakers that I bought here and trying to coordinate all the different pieces that were spread around the world because really the sound born truly and really outernationally in the sense that, as Abby said, you know, part was in UK, part was in Italy, part was in France, part was in Guadeloupe. And it's been very challenging to try, you know, during the pandemic to gather all the pieces together. And if I give my personal, one of my personal highlights so far of this really new journey has been probably the first time that I actually could see the sound together, as it was all in my mind and in our drawings. But as all the pieces were coming from different places, we never actually saw it all together, which is what normally, you know, when you build a sound, you build step by step, box by box, so you can kind of see it getting together. For us has been, you know, all together already, all in one go. But yeah, kind of a surprise how it came out. And so plans completely upside down compared to what we were planning to do, but somehow we took the challenge and the opportunity in the crisis to materialize the amplification and the Hi-Powa as a extension of the project. It was already, you know, with a non-profit organization and the Dub Club, etc., etc.
Okay, thank you, TQ. Yeah, because I think this is really about basically finding a way to go through when things kind of fall apart. And yeah, I guess that basically, yeah, we all know that there have been countries touched harder by the pandemic, like Brazil, unfortunately, which we all heard about. But I guess in terms of the restriction, it has been more or less the same everywhere. So I would ask you, in your country, did, like, I don't know, music practitioners or musicians get some kind of financial support? And I'm also wondering, is the sound system your job? And in case it is, have you been able to access some kind of institutional or financial support while you were not allowed to play? So I guess this could be an interesting question also to see the rate of professionalization, basically, of how much it is possible to make sound system into a job, really. So I let it over to Feminine again.
So what all happened and started here, the cultural sector was hit first. Venues locked down, empty streets, fear, insecurity feeling, and general view, unemployment begins to grow up in all sectors, not only in cultural sector, but our president is a very, very, very terrible manager, moreover, a very terrible person, inhuman, and we were deeply affected, and the situation here is far from becoming better. And it took many, sorry, you can, no?
I don't know if, yeah, I just want to say that meetings like that we can talk with people out of our country have been like so important to us to ask for help, literally. We are living a situation here with our president, like it's very serious. I remember we went for a tour on an European tour 2 years ago, right after he was elected. And at that time, people already was asking for us, like, what's going on in Brazil? What means that guy? And he was not even doing what he's doing in these last 2 years. So we got some financial like improvements for the cultural sector. Yeah, we got some because we had from the past some projects and some money that they have to share with us, like to put in our projects. But even this type of financials, he close or he make the things like harder, and from nothing he just cut it off. And then now we have another program for financial, but it's not a country program. It's a governmental program, like from our state, São Paulo. And we have another chance to try some money. But this guy's terrible, like he's burning Amazon. Now he's answering about cases of corruptions over vaccine situation, like he's a genocide. He's killing people here throughout this disease. Like they found corruption about how long time he spent to buy vaccine for us. So we have some financial improvements, but not even close to be the ideal. And in my case, music is my job, is my employment. So I'm a singer inside Feminine Hi-Fi Sound System and also in a solo career. My friends work with sound system, but they Love Steady and Dani have another type of jobs too. But my job is everything around music. So I'm not in a good moment. We all. That's it.
Thank you, Laila. This is really, serious business for everyone who's employed in music and the entertainment sector as a whole. And I will hand it over to Kebra to hear his views from South Africa.
Yeah, it's been really challenging times, So in my case, like how our sound sustain itself is that we depend more on selling T-shirts and, going out there in the world, getting bookings to sustain the sound so we can keep our sessions alive here in South Africa. Because we play mostly to the unprivileged, it's very challenging to ask for money to play And also it get a bit expensive if you have to rent a venue, then sell tickets and that. So, we can't make it yet in that way. So we depend more on getting bookings in Europe so we can take a bit of the money and pump it into the economy here. So we did get receive the government support, but it was not enough. It was nothing actually. So to survive, it's been really hard and challenging. Well, on my side, I'm a medical technologist, but I've not been working since many years. I recently just went back to work again because, there's no form of work coming from the entertainment industry. So now I'm working in the medical field full-time again. But as for the sound, it is self-funded from our pockets to keep it alive. So these times have been very challenging. And a lot of people know, and they have this idea of Africa not being like, the West out there. So the whole vaccination is very slow. And, it's, a lot of people are getting even more underprivileged. Many jobs have been closed, especially the entertainment industry. So the poor are getting poorer day by day, and we are still far from, from the pandemic thing to be over. So I don't know how to put it, but it's terrible in terms of economic and that, even me as a South African, right now I can't even travel to the world because most of the countries have blocked us from entering there, fearing the Delta variant. So there's no way out, so it's been challenging, really. It's been challenging, and we've been hit very hard economically. As part of the sessions, here how it happens is that they close and open. So we've managed to play outdoor, to having some few sessions to keep the sound alive, but now it's closed again. So that's the routine here. They close, they open, they close, they open. So we also are careful not to, to spread the virus with our sessions. But yeah, for now, it's closed and economically it's very bad. So that's the reality here. Thanks.
Thank you, Kebra. Yeah, Ricardo, please.
Well, as we know, in all the world, but mostly, I don't know, in my country and a lot of countries in South America, situation was already really bad, terrible bad before pandemic. And what pandemic did was to just put a lot of pressure, and everything came out. All the crisis came out, economy, poorness, violence, corruption, everything just came out. So it was there has been a very difficult times now, and there's been some helps for the artists, not real helps like all artists have can pay for. I don't know, at least they send at the beginning, they send you a package of things so you can eat for a few days for those who needed it. And then they started making kind of concerts in the streets near December, and they tried to involve as many artists as they could. That's mostly the help that has been seen here in Colombia. You can try to win a little money for a project, but everybody's now at home without work. So for a little money, there's 200 people, 300 people you know, racing for it. So it becomes impossible. And yeah, that's the help that's been going in here. And in the meantime, this situation was exploding at the end of 2019, as I told you, that like the people were coming to the streets to manifestate, to ask for a change. Pandemic took everybody to stay home, but people here cannot stay home because they live day by day. No, what they work in during the day, they eat at night. So nobody could stay. Crisis grew up, and now in the middle of the third peak of this terrible pandemic, most of us had to go out to the streets to reclaim our rights, to reclaim some help from the government. So it's an explosive situation right now, and there's not a lot of help. Living through music now, it's very difficult if you see it like in events and promotions. I think one good way, it's of course, it's creating vinyls, creating merchandise, creating music to sell online. That's has been a little bit helped, but the other ways, it's very, very difficult right now.
Thank you, Ricardo. And over to Conscious Way.
Yes, then for my part, music is not my source of employment. And it's true that during this period of pandemic, when there was no employment, I keep on having my professional activity. But for all the rest of the world, the situation in Guadeloupe was really difficult because Guadeloupe Island is already a poor island. And there were a lot of local business who really suffer from the crisis. About the artist, what is interesting is that some artists in Guadeloupe, whatever it is, reggae music or other kind of music, find a way to put themselves together and create a union. Then this is something really interesting, and that allows them to go to see the government and to make sure that their situation is, they take in consideration their situation. About the government, the French government, they put a lot of time to recognize that the entertainment industry has to have also some help, because during a long time, during this pandemic, the government have a speech, has a behavior that was to say that there is other activities in the society that is more important than cultural activities or entertainment industry. Then after a lot of pressure from the entertainment industry, they decide to take in consideration the fact that for the whole part of the population who lived from music, it was something really complicated. Then they start to take in consideration, they create a certain help that a non-profit organization or professional can go and apply. And then this is the situation actually. And as I was saying, that the interesting thing is that professional people in the entertainment industry put themselves together to really create in Guadeloupe a union to go to see the government and claim for help and for consideration. Maybe Tiku, you can say more about it because you are actually a professional of entertainment music.
Normally, my job in my previous life, my job was to be a technician, a sound engineer in UK, and as you can imagine, the industry is completely upside down. But well, it's pretty known, the story in UK, you know, as being massive protest of all the technicians and personnel, you know, protesting in the streets to have some sort of recognition. At the same time, yes, there have been some some help in this sense as into the industry to deploy after the protest, etc., and demanding and claiming some help and recognition. But my job was related to music, but I choose a personal reason to always be, as a technical role, but not an artistic role. So I got access to certain support, but because it was my job as a technician, but not as an artist. I know there has been certain funds available for artists in UK, but as I didn't claim, I don't know exactly. I lived the whole pandemic and situation here and on the island. As we said before, basically, I'm trying to take this crisis, this challenge as an opportunity. I'm doing another job right now. I couldn't be with you before because I was working. I'm doing something completely different. That's nothing to do with music, but it's a way to keep things going at the moment while we're waiting for the ease up of the restrictions. For what I could see, here in Guadeloupe has not been too bad, the situation, because it's been anyway managed. Well, it's an island, so once you close the inn, it's quite easy, to manage, the people inside the island. So once they close the borders, no flights, etc., they manage it. In other island, I see they facing up still, a much harder situation in the Caribbean too. We are looking to a slight ease up of situation, but at the moment still, there are certain events that are allowed, but with the combination, associated with a sort of a restaurant option. So you go there, you dine, you eat or you drink, sat on your chair, and there's some music going on. Of course, for us, you can imagine, it's a kind of art for a sound system to play in front of people that not only doesn't move because they cannot move from their chair. It's a bit the anti-sound system. So our lucky escape has been, as Abby mentioned before, to do the sort of blues dances as they were, and also very private sessions for very limited amount of people. But that's it in terms of support and recognition from the actual government. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Ricardo. Yeah, I feel it. I mean, what we just heard it's pretty hard, but I think it was important, basically, to say it loud. Also, from people who actually experience the situation, in the different parts of the world, because of course there have been like a slightly different management style for the pandemic in the world, but we can easily say, I guess, that the general feature has been that basically it has enhanced the existing inequalities, and basically all of the weight of the pandemic has been placed on the poor man and the poor women shoulders, basically, and that's really, I mean, totally a shame, and I mean it should be addressed like more louder and louder. Yeah, but moving on to slightly more positive thoughts, I would like to ask you basically about your relationship with the internet during this last year, because as we all know, like the internet, the social media, streaming platforms have been one of the, I mean, the main ways for some men and some women to kind of keep it going with their audience, keeping doing what they love, basically keep the fire burning, and also trying to ease the pressure which was on everybody's shoulders. So I would like to know your sound system relation with the social media. So how your use of platforms, streaming platforms, and the World Wide Web in general has changed during this last year. And if you have found some specific formats that you have used, And in general, what are your thoughts about the positive and the negative aspects of this kind of media for a sound system, which we all know, you know, the sound system is a media in itself, and is a media which is based on basically the people coming together. So, you know, you have to get to a kind of fertile layer of media when you're not allowed to gather people to have the message going out. So I would hand it over to Feminine.
Yeah, as we can see, and as you told Brian, the internet brings us the possibility to meet each other in a virtual way, but we could meet each other. Feminine Hi-Fi, we sincerely for us was difficult to do like live sessions as a crew properly. First, the pandemic results for us for some moves, like for example, Love Steady, because of the everything locked down. She had to move back to Florianópolis, is another city, it's 10 hours from São Paulo. And then in this specific time, I was pregnant too. I became a mom, so was a different time, like in particular for me. And sincerely for our feelings, we feel like a little weird to do in that way. But even that is a little weird for us to do live sessions in this way that people have been doing. We are very proud of our community, our reggae community, because even being weird for us, it's very nice in the same way. Like in the other hand, it's very nice because it was an opportunity for these people to exchange experiences. My moment now is watch a lot of sessions in Twitch TV. Like I'm an audience of many sound systems and sound crews on Twitch, and I can see the happiness in my people there, doing live sessions there, because they can see people that they like it, and that people that is an influence to them all over the world, like. So some crews like Roughneck Sound System, Zion Gate Sound System, África Mãe do Leão Sound System, Jamaica Sound System, Edificai Sound System. So you have many of these collectives, some more with more experience, and some a little bit newer, new like our friends here, like with 1 or 2 years of life of these sound systems, and they can plan for guys like for other sound systems all over the world, and other singers that they love, that they are fans, you know. So I see that's very positive, this opportunity to exchange, to be in touch with people all over the world, because it's impossible when we do a session in the streets here, like that you dock in South Africa, you can see it only if you come to Brazil. So the internet is an opportunity. So I see in a good way. But in the other side, I already told about the inequality that we have in Brazil. And this inequality reflects in many, many paths of our life. So internet is a privilege here. We have a huge access now, but the most poor people here and people far from downtown, for example, they have difficulties to have access for a good internet. Sometimes they have internet, but to do a live stream, wow, it's a bad internet to do that. And the other difficulty is to understand that new I don't even know how to call these new platforms like StreamYard, like OBS, even Zoom. Sometimes the understanding for the people is hard, and the understanding many times is inside tutorials on the internet, and we have difficult to connect to internet for a good internet to watch videos, and then but I'm very proud of the community here because they find ways to make it happen. Inside Feminine Hi-Fi, we did Feminine Hi-Fi sessions, like sessions of 15 minutes. We asked for these little sessions to women all over the world, selectors and singers. So we use our platform, our social media to spread these sessions, these little sessions. And also we did Feminine Talks, was a talk with someone specialist in some subject. So we had conversations around anti-racism, Black Lives Matter, about the violence from the cops, because it's something very it's a fever here about that. So that's what I can say about our point of view here.
Thank you, Laila. Over to Kebra.
Yeah, so I think the thing of pandemic on our side as Kebra Ethiopia, it has like redefined, you know, our, what can I say, our sound system to the world, you know, because a lot of people outside of Europe, they've never been into our sessions here in South Africa. So when they see the videos, they think, you know, it's a sound system of people dancing. They never think about the people behind there and the kinds of tunes we play. So when they think of Kebra Ethiopia, it's like they see a group of Africans, people dancing, you know. So that's the kind of stereotype they have with us. So with the lockdown, because we couldn't travel or do any sessions, so we had to set up our own live stream sessions. And, you know, that thing gave us like a rebranding, I could say, like in terms of redefining ourselves, because people now had like an intimate opportunity to, you know, to listen to our selection, actually. Because when you think of Africa, you don't think like there's a sound system culture here existing from, you know, back as the 80s. So they never think about that. They think it's just, you know, dancing, like I say. So now they had an opportunity to, you know, to listen to our music, the kind of music we play, the message we're trying to send out there to the world, you know. So it did help a lot, and it brought a lot of followers too, which is good. We're able to sell T-shirts to raise funds to sustain the sound, you know. So that's the positive thing with the internet, because you are able to use it to like kind of extend your message to people who, you know, could never see you performing at your country or land. So, you know, that's the positive side. But the negative aspect is that it's like also, you know, those who are privileged are more connected, you know, they, you know, like they get this preference. Because I noticed that with our live stream sessions, a lot of people who could tune in are people from like from Europe, these countries where, you know, they are more privileged, and people from Africa and here at home, they couldn't, because internet is expensive, the connection is bad and things like that, you know. So it does expose the inequalities of the world, you know. It shows you who has and who doesn't have, you know. So I guess in everything that you do find that kind of an imbalance in a way, you know. So to me, that's all I could say, like to, you know, to redefine our sound to the masses and you know, to stop with this stereotype, like when they think of Kebra Ethiopia, they think of people dancing only. I mean, dancing is part of a culture here. To me, it's like, it's normal. So they never think more about the people behind doing that. So it kind of gave us that direction, like I'm saying, to redefine our sound. Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Kebra. Very inspiring. And over to Ricardo, del Gran Latido.
Okay, for us, internet at the beginning of the pandemic, the first 2 or 3 months, we did a couple of live streamings, you know, to like get together in some way and don't become crazy. They work really good because we couldn't see each other, not even in the same city. So it was a nice way to feel together and reconnect, no, in between all this thing going on. But after the second month, we realized that the work we had to do as a sound system was in the streets. We started finding some ways to go outside, keep a social distance, and take music and information to different neighborhoods. So what we try to do is like live sessions. We leave it. For example, me personally, I leave it because when our crew works, we're like a channel. We work together with the people. So when we are alone, we don't know. You're gonna see in our session, it's we're there. We put some music, but it's very difficult. We feel a little bit weird because what we do a lot is we interact with the neighborhood, with the situation, with the manifestation, with what's going on, and that is what makes us choose the next tune or sing the next song or say the next thing. So it was strange for us, like, to do live sessions. Some of the guys, of the other selectors in our crew, they use it and they work it. But as Gran Latido, we prefer to do actions in the street. Maybe make a video and share it to the world. So people know what's going on in this country, and also maybe get some inspiration of what sound system can do in communities.
Thank you, Ricardo. Over to CWO.
Yes, from our part, as I said, we are a newborn sound system. And in the period during the pandemic, then straight we were put in the streaming things. We did not have choice. And we start to do some streaming session. It was something for me, really easy to go in because we have no choice as a new sound system who wanted at least to show that we are existing. Then early, we start to do some streaming session, and it was internet for us was something really positive because as a newborn son, it allowed us to communicate on the fact that we are existing, on the fact there is something going on in this little island, Guadeloupe, that sometimes no one knows where it is. Then it was something internet allowed us to be able to communicate on what we are doing actually in Guadeloupe. And it was something really positive. But still, we realize also that you cannot, as a sound system, as Gran Latido was saying, be disconnected from the street. And if we couldn't go to the street, we make the choice to organize in our house, in our backyard, private session, where we could have this vibe, this sharing with people, with them together here. Then we try to do a mix, of course, streaming session, but also keep the philosophy, the vibes of sound system to put together people in the same place and share our vibes. Then it was something really important for us. One thing also I wanted to say about the internet, I think having to do streaming is also allow us as a crew to develop some skills and some competencies, because we used to be a lot focus on the sound, the technical aspect of the sound, speakers, etc., etc. Having to do streaming, we realized, for example, that we have to improve our skill in terms of communication, in terms of multimedia. Then actually in our crew, we have someone who work a lot with us about filming. Then it also allows us to develop in the crew some competencies about this kind of internet things. And I think it was positive, as long as you can find a balance and not forget what is truly a sound system is also be in the street and bring people together. I don't know if Sticker want to add something else.
Thank you. Super very briefly, yes, has been somehow, from my point of view, quite weird because, yes, my background, I had a sound system before. I'm more using to certain kind of dynamics that are the ones that you actually develop when the people are there. But then Abby was already doing some streamings actually, because she has radio shows, etc. But it's like, as I lived it, it's like, okay, what we were doing on a certain level, and just to keep the vibe going on, and also to create some connection with people that couldn't see us or didn't know us, etc. Suddenly, it became the thing. The streaming stuff, it became the thing. So this forced us to step up on a level, to do, okay, instead of just, the camera maybe of the laptop there, try to improve and have, a better quality one, a better quality of the streaming in terms of audio, start to think about it in a completely different way from what we were already doing somehow. My Abby was already doing. I barely knew Twitch and these kind of things. Another thing that I may add, Brian, you were asking about platforms, etc. We started, as I guess most part of the people, just trying to do the streams on Facebook. Can I say Facebook? After that, it was all the problems, as everyone knows, about, censorship and Mr. Warner Bros. Saying, hey, you play my tunes and you are not allowed, when you're actually not. But you have to prove that you are not playing their tune. They block you. In the meantime, they block you. And then you have to prove that you are not playing. It's crazy. But so that forced us as well, forced me to explore completely different horizon. I discovered Twitch. I discovered that Mixcloud had a function that we use now to not only upload our radio shows and recordings, but it actually had a function to do the live stream there of with no limitations and good quality, etc. So we got into it. And we're still exploring. And I think that, of course, there are, I don't want to add I don't feel to add particular negative aspect that has not already been mentioned, and that are exactly what are my thoughts and my feelings, both in terms of the connection with the people and in terms of showing how important nowadays is the concept, the whole thing of access to information, access to the internet, access to entertainment, just access to things. While I think I was thinking is that it would be almost bizarre maybe for us now, it became a part of the thing. So I guess that when we have some sessions planned, when we will go to our session, we will probably carry on a camera, and we anyway will try to probably to stream it if it's possible. That to say that it changed our way also to conceive what we're doing in terms of sound. It became part of it a little, you know. So you are there, surely why not record your session? Well, you are there. Technology allows you actually to stream it. Why not? Well, we stream it. So yes, from a really weird thing, it became kind of something that is another tool. Thanks.
Hi guys. Speaking about access, I think Brian's internet is gone. So we can continue until he connects.
Can we try to put our video? We would love to put in the beginning.
Sure.
But doesn't work. I think it's a good moment. So
yes, totally.
let me tell to Dani. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna speak a little Portuguese so Dani can understand me well. Okay, Dani.
Oi, pode falar, amiga. Vou colocar. It's okay. Yes. It's work. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
No audio. Video works, but no audio.
Oh.
I'm not very IT
Audio
savvy,
didn't work?
Maybe you can create a sort of a virtual window for Zoom to pick up that takes automatically also the audio from the video you're streaming.
Ah, tá. Deixa eu tentar fazer daqui.
Tá bom, ok.
Fecha o seu compartilhamento aí, que eu vou tentar fazer daqui. Fecha o seu, isso, que eu só consigo se... Let me try it from my phone here, because this video came from my phone.
I think if you share the screen, you keep the audio from your mic.
Meu vídeo. Gente, this is easy, but it's not too easy. I'm sorry. I'm looking Google Drive. Let me try. No.
E amiga, eu acho que não vai rolar, hein?
I think, Lila, you can try to make it work. In the meanwhile, I can introduce the questions we received from the audience. So maybe...
Okay.
If you want to try in the meanwhile to make it work. So just so people know, my name is Juana, so I'm helping Brian with the organization of this event. So here he is. the electricity on his street. The electricity on his street just went off. So this is the contingency plan.
Hey, hi, I'm just back. Did I miss anything? So sorry, this is really what you don't want to happen while you're hosting a streaming, but the electricity in my whole street just went off. So I'm back on my phone. Sorry for properly. Thank you, and nice to see you back. So until the connection lasts, I would just put you another question, which is really about the, I mean, you all mentioned, I mean, a few of you have mentioned like the social impact that sound system can have. So, you know, like despite the lockdown around the world, there has been a few significant social movements or protest movements. The main example is like, of course, the Black Lives Matter, which has resonated across the world, but also some more local but very powerful movements. So currently the Afuera Bolsonaro in Brazil, or the protest against the new tax reform in Colombia, we all have heard about. So I'd like to ask you, is this kind of social activism something that informs your sound system practice directly or indirectly? And how do you think that sound system can contribute to ignite a socially progressive and transformative process?
So, well, for us, feminine hi-fi is already about that, because we seek more equally powerful for women inside reggae scene here, and not only here. So we always did this. Being a project already engaged in female gender activism, we always take causes we agree and have sympathy. And of course, we believe in power of sound system to make change here. For a Bolsonaro, movements like that. And we have a strong community here. And we have many social troubles and many problems. And I think that the sound system is a powerful platform to activism, to say for the community that what happening in the community, in the favelas, in the ghettos, and about gender issues, racial issues, and for us is a natural thing, activism in our project, because we are woman, we are a woman in sound system culture, woman in a society, is a political we have a political body, we have a political activities in the all the time. I think this. Laila, you can completely with
I think I have nothing to complete. I think sound system, where it came from, and the situation in the inside a big many big social issues at the Jamaica land, and so I think it's part of the job. And it's, as you say, like feminine hi-fi, born from an activism, a gender activism, a female gender activism. So everything we have sympathy and everything we agree. Like, for example, Brian said about the Black Lives Matter. I'm a Black woman inside a feminist project, so I bring with me and I share with my friends and my partners, and we agree and we put our positions. We say what we think in our social medias and everywhere we have we can like put our message through. So nothing more to complete. So thank you. Brian, Burnbacks.
Yeah, and over to
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yes. So in our case, sound system to me has always been about activism. From when I was young, started to listen to reggae music. It was all an awareness from every tune, every lyrics you hear of activism. It's a protestive movement, it's a protestive music. It's a culture that was born from such bad things that happened to African people. So it's a continuation of activism to find oneself, and that is being said. Reggae to me is that it's a protestive movement. So how even we play our music is that we focus on certain subjects. We don't play a tune because it's popular. We play a tune because of its lyrical content. And I've started actually to enforce that and pay more attention on that even more when I started to travel to the world. I think I remember going to Brazil, yes, big respect to the Feminine Hi-Fi to have been to their sessions, and they're doing amazing work. So big respect. So when I started to travel outside of the world, one of the similarities I've seen was with Brazil. It's very similar to South Africa. You see the setting there, that in Brazil, if you are black, you are less of a human being. And that was shocking to see the inequalities there. So I started to play with the brothers there called Africa Minduleo. And what I proposed to them, it was that we can't keep playing sessions with no reasons. We need to come with some kind of activism there. And we started with the thing we call preto meaning black, because I know in Brazil, a lot of people get offended when you say they are black, because that's how the system operates there. The whole dilution of melanin there, it's big. So we said, you know what, we're gonna name our sessions black, meaning, we affirm we are black and we are proud and we are beautiful. And those sessions had a lot of momentum and a lot of support, simply because a lot of black people started to associate themselves with the idea of Africa. So I could go on and on about this, but in Europe is the same too. I've played in a lot of European sessions and festivals, and you see a lot of African people playing there in the festivals. I could say that I'm one of the youngest African sound or a black sound that got to travel in all over Europe and played in those festivals. And I've never seen a young black man or a young black woman playing in those sessions next to me. So that too is wrong, and we should question that. Like, we talk about the One Love thing, but it doesn't reflect on the sessions. So I've had a discussion about that too, but it's something that has been going, and I think the curators or the promoters of this festival, they need to do something about that, start to balance, things, so it could also complement the music that we are playing. So for me, sound system, it's activism. I've been to Ricardo's sound too, and I've participated in one of their protests too. So I really was inspired by their works, as their sound really full-time, they support the protests that are happening in Colombia. So we are seeing something similar in Brazil, Colombia, South Africa. Like, sounds are now moving more into activism rather than a party kind of a vibe. So I think there is a positive thing with the sound, because it does carry the legacy of what the founders of this music have started in Jamaica. So that's briefly what I could say about activism of sound system.
Thank you, Kebra, for these very powerful remarks. And over to Ricardo.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Well, yes, same things as you already said. I feel really near to what the realities you live in and how you see a sound system. Roots and culture. It's protest music in every lyrics of every song. I'm getting information, empowerment, upliftment. And this is what these territories need in this moment. No, Colombia, Brazil, South Africa, Guadeloupe, many half of this earth needs this kind of energy, this kind of vibes, powerful things going on. So yes, we are really involved with our situation. No? We have a big tool that can slowly help the situation, no, catch the young people's attention and give them a lot of message, a lot of good energy. I don't know. I would like to share a video to show some examples of the things we do. Please tell me if it's working. Let me see. Can you see it now? Okay.
Yes.
Full screen, and now like this.
La lucha incansable con deshacer el pensamiento. Cuando estudia la justicia para encontrar lo correcto. El momento que separa la belleza de su cuerpo en su interior. La estética de lo perfecto. Hoy estamos aquí para defender la vida, el territorio y la dignidad. Pedimos reestructuración para las víctimas. Que se siente la lucha viva. Que resuene nuestra indignación. Porque el pueblo no se rinde, carajo. Para el pueblo es el que va a parar. 31 masacres en Colombia. Más 31 masacres este año. 31 masacres en Colombia. Más 31 masacres este año. Paren su masacre. Anira, paren su masacre. Right now. Nos están vulnerando todos los derechos. Hay suficientes razones para indignarnos. Estamos aquí para callar las voces de ustedes. Estamos aquí para gritar en compañía de todos sus corazones, ¿sí?
So this is when this El Paro Nacional, this strike that has been going on for more than 2 months started. These days, this thing started. And it's been like a very special, because okay, we are a roots and culture sound system, but we're fighting for one thing together with a lot of people. So in our sessions and when we go out, we try to share this sound system vibe with everyone we can. You see, with other kind of music, with other. You know, there's indigenous people, there's people from all over Colombia involved and understanding the power of sound system culture. And definitely this is what happened with us with pandemic. No more sessions, no more indoor sessions. So let's go out to the streets and you know, like and use this powerful tool to get to the people, to unite the people, and give powerful messages, and also to magnificate their messages, not only our messages personally, but let people get the mic and speak and sing and interact. It's been more powerful than I could imagine, and it's a thing that we're just a channel, and we flow. We let this energy flow through our sound system. We don't try to control many things, no, and try to be like as open as we can, and put this culture, sound system culture, to work, and help other sound systems to grow in the city, because if there are more sound systems in the neighborhoods, in the kids' hands, in other kind of music hands, in everybody, I think it's gonna help for a real change, you know, educational places, unite people. There's many things, like magical things that come when sound system is in the streets. I don't know if you want to see another kind of video thing we did during the pandemic, where we were really tight quarantine and nobody could go outside, no way. I would love to show you this, because it's also I think it's also can be interesting to see.
Sorry, Ricardo. Unfortunately, I think that we are kind of running late. I think
okay.
15 minutes left. So I guess that, apologies. I will hand it over to, you can put the link in the chat. Yeah. So it can go also to the attendees. I will share it with them, but I will put it to Conscious Way, because also we have a few questions from the audience, which I would really like to ask. So we have kind of wrap it up. I'm sorry. Yeah. Over to Conscious Way.
Yes, about Conscious Way Outernational, for sure, we are sharing the same values and the other sound system, and we all agree, of course, about all that was said. For sure, we as sound system stand up against all kind of domination or discrimination, and it's also due to our story. The sound system is part of a country, an island, who really, with a social situation really complicated, really difficult, and also a post-colonial society, where the question of domination, racial domination, identity question is really, really complicated. And it is something really important for us as sound system to be able to stand every time where there is a fight against domination and discrimination, to be there and to support. And it is also, I think it's important for us also as human, also as couple, because we are also in the sound system, a mixed couple. Then you can imagine that question about color of skin, discrimination, domination, for me also as a Black woman, is something really important. And this is things that we are really attentive to. And this is things that we try when we talk about bringing people together. This is things really important for us, that in our session, for example, that you could find Black people, white people, Indian people, humanity. Then it's something really, really important for us as a sound system to be there and be part of fight against this kind of domination, of discrimination. TQ, maybe? Quickly?
Thanks. Super quickly. But well, is activism and the identification of sound system as a tool in the personal activism is the very reason why I think I am here today. In the sense that I came to reggae music through sound systems, not for the music, but for the lyrics, because when I was younger, I was a very committed kind of activist, political activist, you know. Call me rioter if you want, but I did a few. And organizing some events one day, we were in need of some sort of music. I knew something about reggae music. I took contact with someone that was playing reggae, and the rest is history. But that is the very reason why I'm here. The discovery that sound system is such a powerful tool to bring the people together. And when the people are together, it is quite something. The very kind of motto of our project is unity in diversity. So yeah, the Hi-Powa, it goes around because we believe that, yes, that is the key to betterment. Then of course, every sound has to work on the land, on the territory is in. So we live in this island, which is a so-called post-colonial French colony, which is very peculiar. The way that we have to work on this is, as Abi said, yeah, try to bring people together. You know, the white students coming from France and know anything about the history of this place. Maybe they come for the Erasmus, together in the dance with the elder Rastas that comes from the island, together with the different locals, together with, that's it. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Tikur. Yeah, I would just say that I'm very proud, honored to be able to chair such an amazing panel. And I will open it briefly to questions from the audience. First question from Leonardo Vidigao, our SSO co-founder, who has been working hard behind the curtain to put on this event and working on the screenings program, especially. Leo writes, a question to all sound system practitioners. Perhaps the pandemic helped to develop a worldwide awareness that we are all in the same boat. Do you think such awareness can change the way sound systems work? And do you think sound systems could help each other on a local and global scale when we can get back to the streets? I will ask you to be brief because we have a few questions to ask. So let's go with the round. Please, Feminine.
Okay, what I think we had a conversation about the use of the internet and this exchange, and I had a little conversation with my fellows from Ministério Público, a sound system, Brazilian sound system from Salvador, Bahia. And we were talking about exactly about like about this, like they say we start to do live streaming, and we miss a lot the sessions in personal, but we want to keep going, to keep doing live streaming too, because it's another way that we can share our music, our message with other people. So I think that this pandemic and the challenges inside the pandemic change for sure some order, like the sound systems could understand that can do many ways, many type of work to spread the message and spread the activisms. So I would love to get my time to say big up to my brother Doc from Kebra, Ethiopia, and say that when they came here to Brazil, they changed an order here. Like we have some issues and some questions about Black community and white people doing sound systems, and Cabra, Ethiopia was very important here. So we get this issue and think about and look around and have a good a better relationship between ourselves here. So that's it for now.
Thank you. Over to Lecanto, Cabra. You muted, Cabra.
Yes, I think the pandemic has really, I think, exposed how dependent we are to each other. Because in my case, like when I started the live stream, I had the GoFund donation thing set up, and a lot of people did support it, So it's like I'm seeing that a lot of people have this will to really give a helping hand to those who are vulnerable in this time. You know, there's so much negative things happening, but at the same time, there's been a lot of positive things, you know, that I personally have witnessed and experienced. So I think this spirit of togetherness, it's, you know, it's gaining momentum. Like when you have a live stream, you'd have people who didn't know each other, but on the chats, they communicate like brother and a sister. So these are some of the, you know, catalysts that you see that, you know, it does contribute to the, you know, oneness of humanity in a way. So in my way, there's, you know, there's a positive uprising happening behind the scenes. So as soon as all of us are able to physically come together, you know, there's gonna be a lot of laughter, hugs and that, you know, but now they're still brewing behind the scenes. So there's been a lot of positive things happening, you know, with this pandemic. Also, I mean, in every situation like this, something positive automatically is gonna happen. And in my view, I've seen that more people are moving towards one direction. Give thanks.
I totally agree with Doc. I think yes, with pandemic, we have time to connect. No, things have been going a little bit slower, and you have time to appreciate other things, appreciate other people, recognize other people. Here, for example, in South America, and also with the brothers in Central America and Caribbean, we connected many times during this period. Thanks to live sessions, thanks to situations like Sound System Outernational and this kind of webinars, you have a little bit more time to see, understand who is the other person, get the contact. So I think it's very positive, and I think every sound system also is asking itself. What's the real purpose? No, what's the real purpose of being a sound system? If nowadays we cannot put an event on a venue, if maybe so I don't know. I think a lot of positive things too are happening. A lot of consciousness, a lot of connection. So when things get a little bit up and running again, it's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna be a strong thing. Thank you.
Yes, Conscious Way, please.
Yes, a lot of things are already been said, but it's true that this pandemic, I think, brought awareness among the sound system culture, and also, of course, connection, because we personally we experimented, and I think it allowed us also to understand that how fragile we are, especially if we stay alone. And I think it was something really positive, because at the moment it also showed that whatever you are, a well-known sound system or newborn sound system, we all have to face the same situation and the same struggle in this period. Then I think it allows us, it is a chance for us, I think, to work better together, to, of course, to keep on have this connection, but to work better together and to understand that we are sharing all together the same kind of cultures, the same kind of vibes, and we have at the moment to think outernationally. And I think this is something really important to have. It's not local or a sound system in a country, but it is outernational, and how to make it and make it keep on to be like that. Thanks.
Thank you, Abby. And we do have a next question from the audience. An anonymous question. Thank you so much for your amazing work. I have two questions for all of you. Do you feel like the Black Lives Matter mobilization that unfolded during lockdown in the US resonated particularly with your public? And two, what sound system would you love to perform with when the restrictions will end? Let's start with Laila and Dani, please, from Feminine Hi-Fi.
Particularly, I was in US when George Floyd was killed. So was a I don't want to say nice, but my English is not the best. So was a different experience, you know, was special in the way that I could see a Black community like very like in fever and doing the things in the streets, and how people have power about the problems and the social issues. So what for me, like Black Lives Matter was a change of order too, and I think the sound systems like our community have to look to the Black Lives Matter movement with a lot of attention, and bring to our performs and our sessions this type of messages, and think about that, especially our community that is very have many ethnics working together for the one love way. So what's the second question? I'm sorry.
The second question, I will ask it later, better to everybody of you. Yeah, it would be like the final question. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you.
over to Kebra.
Well, to me, the thing of, the identity or the race subject it's very fragile, because some they deny what's currently happening in the world. So the thing of George Floyd, for people who are within the Black communities, this is nothing new. It's like, it's something that you get used to, that Black lives are disposable. There's a lot of Black people being killed by police almost every hour. So this awareness, in a way, it was, to me, in a way, that it was an awareness to those who are not Black, like to recognize and see that this is the real pandemic. A lot of Black people have been killed for nothing. If the same person was white, we know it was going to be a different situation. So in my humble opinion, I think it was necessary for those who are not Black to reflect and talk about these things within their communities. Because for us, we've been talking about these things since the days of slavery. So I can't say it was new and it caused some kind of an outrage in my community. No, it didn't, because it's something normal to see Black people being killed. So in those who are not used to that, I think to them it was some kind of an, like to question themselves exactly about what can they do to change this, because for us, people are used to us protesting for that, but to see a white, Indian or Chinese saying, no, enough is enough, then it's going to send a different message. So, that's my humble opinion. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, to don't repeat the same things, but for example, okay, well, here in Colombia, if I'm not wrong, it's like the second country in South America with more Black community. So here, of course, this thing was in a lot of conversations and a lot of actions, but the same here. Here we live in very difficult situations in many ways. And it's in the normal you don't see that Black people are getting killed every day, but the same happens in most of our territories. In big cities, you live like in a bubble. Outside the cities, this is happening every day for many years. So it's but it helps it like inspiring, getting together, and you have and people have to make themselves get heard and step, and don't permit that these things continue. It's a difficult and it's a long way, but I think it's from that side, it's a good example for other people to see, from people that a lot of people here think that it's normal. They don't know they have rights. They don't know it's not normal to have killings every day. So it's inspiring and waking up for many people in this territory. Thank you.
Conscious Way?
Yes, about Black Lives Matters, I think for Guadeloupean people is a huge example to follow, is a good example to follow. And I'm agree with what Dr. Ainiti said. In the same time, for many Black people, it is nothing new because it's a problem that an issue that we experiment every day, whatever it is in Caribbean or elsewhere. Then I think what is important is that allow non-Black community to, at some extent, to understand that there is something going on and he has to stop. And I think it was one of the, how to say it, sorry for my English, is a kind of emotional for me, this kind of subject. But I think it was important that white people be able to understand that there is something wrong and you cannot keep on be blind about this kind of problem. And that make me think that often we use the word of conscious. We are conscious, we are Outernational, Hi-Powa. For me, if Black people have to be conscious, if we have to bring roots, if we have to bring militancy, white people also, and not only white people, have to be conscious. When we talk about consciousness, is an Outernational thing. It cannot be, we cannot left the responsibility of to be conscious to only one part of the population. We all have to be conscious about the fact that we are living in a system of domination. And if we collectively don't fight against this domination system, we are going to die. Black people will keep on dying, but also other people will die. Then it is a collective responsibility to, at a moment, fight against domination. Thanks.
Thank you, Abby, very much. And I just have we went just a bit over the time. I have a last question from Yasmin Foster to everyone. Yasmin says, great session. Thank you all so much. Could you each share something that you learned about your work as a result of COVID that you will now take forward? And I will ask you to be brief on this one so we can just close it with this one. Thank you. Laila and Danny, please.
Sorry, I lost your question.
Break up here. From Yasmin Foster, can you each share something that you learned about your work as a result of COVID that you will now take forward?
Okay. So first, I would love to say that I heard from someone, I don't remember now, that as the esclaves, when we were in the slave times, when we think about the slave times, we think, wow, that's an absurd. So we have to have the same thinking fast, as soon as possible, about the inequality now. So just to complete our thinking about the races, we are not in time to don't do racism with the people. Now we have to move forward. We have to be an anti-racists. So it's about the collective. It's about what my sister says. Like we have to think in a collective way. Just to complete the last subject. So now what I can see about the pandemic. That we have to learn to do things in many different ways to doesn't stop. Even if you don't play, don't do like live streams or something like that. I think this pandemic situation, I can say for sure we could this time to put our minds in order and think forward and open our minds about our real responsibility about the world. We are in a sanitary huge problem around the world, and it happens because of our attitudes and our not careful around environmental issues, for example. So we have to think that social issues happens in a place, and this place is the environmental, urban environmental or natural environmental. So I think in the pandemic, we get the responsibility of this. And we inside the sound system culture, we can do our job like in the easy stuffs or in the hard stuffs too. Like, for example, when you do a session in the streets, take care of the trash. Say to your people to get the trash and put on the trash, like simple attitudes like that, or huge attitudes, more complex. Everything is our responsibility. So I think we can get the pandemic and think that nature and human being are together, is inseparable. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Over to
Yes. Yes. So I think in our side, what can we take and move forward we learn from the pandemic is that playing music only is not enough, playing music only is not enough. People now, they are searching for like the story behind the music, meaning the people, the players, the sound system, like what's currently happening here. It's very interesting. So we also now are thinking of using such platforms, maybe to raise funds to build a library for a school, or to buy some school shoes for another kids who's struggling there, like to really use these resources to, to change the world. Not only just play music, but to put in practice what the music is saying, The music has a lot of lyrics, but we can, pick up a few that inspire us, and we can collectively start to practice them, So, that's my take on that. If I could summarize, like to start doing things in practical, but as a collective, because I see that it's easy to bring people together online. It's so easy. So maybe we can use that kind of a platform to change the world. Let's have a campaign to maybe, raise funds to buy some food for a non-profit organization, things like that. They can give a positive outlook on reggae music and its activists. That's my take on that.
Wow, I think we've learned many things during this pandemic. One thing is, for example, the importance of spirituality and meditation. Stop and be with yourself and ask yourself, where are you doing? Where are you going? This is a very important thing that we understand in this time, because sometimes when things get on again and it's everything moves and don't stops, and you hardly have time for yourself. So that's one thing we will try to continue, to create these sessions also to be like for more meditation and thinking. And another thing is the we've seen here, like moving around this year, it's the importance of public space, the importance of gathering people in public space. Public space, it's public. It belongs to us. And I don't know in other countries, but here it's like it belongs to the police, or it belongs to a private thing. So to keep winning our public space, and it's very nice, because it's not in a venue or in a territory. It's public, and it's in the neighborhood or in downtown, but it's a place where different kind of dynamics between people happen. So it's another thing we want to continue when all this thing happens, and we can go back to venues, but we still try to be in public space.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. And let's go for Conscious Way Outernational.
Yes, I will let also Tikir say a few words. For me, the teaching of the pandemic is the most important thing is that we are finally nothing. And quickly, everything can change. Nothing is granted. And it's also, as a human being, how we manage that. And it's also the collective, because we realize that suddenly, also more than usual, we need each other. We need to be collective. We need to think collective and to act collective. And for me, it is two things that will, for me, allow us to keep on in our journey of sound system, actually, thinking also collective. Tikio, maybe you want to add something about that?
Yes. I second, of course, what you said, and I think the numbers of the people participating, coming out, getting out of their home to come to a dance, it took for me a different significance somehow. Like I don't know, see together certain amount of people that deliberately choose to spend their time together, coming out of the home, getting there. It's something that before maybe I was giving a little bit more for granted in terms of, well, there's nothing special about it. While yes, maybe now I think it is actually quite very special thing. Be together, sharing a moment, going home, some positive thoughts. Yes, that's it. Just a little thing about the previous question. I would just like to say that yes, the world movement and the protest, Black Lives Matter, but also the Extinction Rebellion project, and I think is massively impacting us. And I more and more I would like to remark the fact that in our vision is a collective problem. Even the Black Lives Matter is actually a problem that is not going to be solved by Black people alone. There's no way. The problem is caused by other people. It's not a problem that's caused by Black people. So more and more we have to come together to sort out ourselves as a mankind, and that's it, really. That's it. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Sikir. And well, I really think we have to wrap it up. Just, yeah, I don't know how to say how much I am humbled of being able to chair such a panel. It's truly been a pleasure and a honor. And I think there's a lot of food for thoughts for everybody. So thank you from the depth of my heart, and also on behalf of my sound system Outernational team, which has been working very hard behind the scene to keep it going. Thank you all. Thanks also to our audience who has been with us, also for some extra time. And just as a reminder, this was just the launch session. It has been totally stellar, but we do have a full program next week. So just check our website, check our networks, and be with us next week. And also don't forget the screenings. We have a few amazing movies that can be watched for free that are not available anywhere else during this week. So the first one is available now, today and tomorrow only, and is the Base Culture movie, documentary. And check our Eventbrite event and register and get the information for the screenings. So see you next Monday, July 12, with our long-awaited keynote session with Professor Caroline Cooper. Thank you again to Feminine Hi-Fi, Kebra Ethiopia, El Gran Latido, and Conscious Way Outernational. It's been a pleasure, and see you next time. Peace.
Blessed love. Bless.
Hey.
Greetings. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bless.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
love, brothers and
Merci.
sisters.
Bless.
Salve,
Wow.
salve.